I wanted to become a living embodiment of art.
Looking natural today. Looking very basic, very natural, just very, you know, down to earth and everything. Hello. Hello, artists. It's me. I was originally intending to kind of have this to be a little bit of a serious video. However, I feel like we have a lot of seriousness already in the world right now. So I decided to go full rainbow today. You know, I'm just going to try and do the balancing act between like bringing you some fun and bringing you a little bit of inspiration too, that's not too serious right now. And hopefully it will help you and brighten your day, you know, because little bits of happiness is what we need right now. And those little bits go a long way, which is kind of my whole point of this video, because, you know, I sat down and I thought to myself, you know, this is the prime time for artists to be using their talents, using their gifts to show them to the world, because we can take our emotions right now and any type of negative emotions that we may be feeling and actually transmute that energy into something physical from a completely non-physical place. We take our ideas, we transform them into something beautiful. And even if you don't have ideas right now, sitting down in front of that canvas and just letting it flow, splashing some paint, splash your emotions out onto that canvas, or just start doodling and see what happens. Right now I'm currently working on this little guy right here. I started this whenever I was in the emergency room last night. I've been recovering from strep throat and I was feeling a little bit better today. I got my voice back, and it's not, you know, this is all small potatoes compared to what's going on in the world right now. But for right now, I kind of like to sit and just talk to you about some things. I made out a list of some things that artists can do right now to feel like, you know, they're more empowered in this time of peril and weirdness. And one of them obviously is sketching and painting. I know that just doing this particular simple sketch has really actually been therapeutic for me. And I don't really know exactly where it's all going to go, but just the whole act of putting it out on paper and creating something in itself, just anything, has been a therapeutic process for me. I woke up at 4 a.m. today with a lot of anger that I had carried from the day before. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I really feel like a lot of artists are naturally empathic people, and we tend to soak up other people's energies very easily. And not only that, but the world at large. And so just the simple act of getting something out, one of the best things you can do is to just start that. And, you know, there's also coloring books. You know, if you really don't feel like actually creating something that puts forth a lot of mental effort, if you're just mentally exhausted right now, you know, there's plenty of things you can do for coloring. And, you know, that's kind of a meditative practice, which kind of leads me into my second thing that you could do, and that is any type of energy work that you can work on. I feel like Lisa Frank just exploded. All 80s Lisa Frank aesthetic just exploded everywhere today. But, you know, I was inspired. I thought, what kind of content would my viewers want to see? What would I like to see as a viewer? I want more color. And so I just ran with it. I've had this particular shirt for a while, and I've been wanting to wear it, and I kept sitting on it and being like, ooh, I don't know, you know, I gotta have the right opportunity. And today's the right opportunity. If I am gonna get serious about any of this right now, please follow the advice of medical professionals, and please distance yourself from each other at this time. And quarantine yourself as much as possible. I really believe that this is really the only way that we're gonna, you know, at least have a great impact on where this is gonna go. And you know, I love my nephew. He's 16, and he texted me yesterday and he said, man, this whole quarantine thing, I don't know about it. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, I'm so bored. And he's a very social person. And he's like, I'm so bored. And I said, okay. I was like, think about it this way. Would you rather be at home bored, or would you rather be sick in the hospital, quarantined from everyone and bored? Okay. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. So please take this time to really reflect on your life and your blessings and every little piece of your life that you can still use to create. We still have the internet. We can still connect with each other that way. Let's focus back on to what I was talking about, the reasons, the things that artists can do right now. If you are really just not feeling the energy of creation within your body, mind, and soul, you can also read the art instruction books. You can follow YouTube tutorials, but really I advise you to kind of sit down and take a look at some of the art books that you have. I have shelves of them, and not even that, just read a book, but if it's not like an art instruction book, then maybe like an art coffee table book. You'd be surprised at how just visually looking at pictures, we joke about this sort of thing, but looking at pictures, it can spark some absolute inspiration, at least for me. Even if it's not anything definitive, it can be inspiring to just look at some of those pictures and to learn something different. Take this time to, now that you have some extra time, hopefully, to focus on self-care. This is a process of self-care, by the way. Art is a process of self-care. Creation is. So, take some time to, finally let yourself say, hey, I've always wanted to learn watercolor. I've always wanted to learn oil painting or acrylics or something. And I've had this set for a long time and I just never picked it up. Use this time to pick up the guitar that you've been wanting to pick up for about a year now. Again, and I'm speaking to myself, note to self, but I'm also speaking to everybody else that if there's something that has been on your mind to try, or at least get back to, use this time. And it'll serve you as a great distraction, but also as something that is emotionally fulfilling and mentally fulfilling. This is what my cats like to do with paper towels. Yeah. That's my fault. I left them on the floor. Here's something you can do. I don't know, since things are closing, I don't think you can actually get a physical copy right now. If you can, get your hands on this. But I think you can buy this digitally and download it. It's called Practical Painter. I'm not affiliated with them at all whatsoever, although I am down for being in this book. It's literally, you can download it once you actually purchase it, but I think you can buy it online as a PDF. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, there are a ton, I think I mentioned this on my community page, there's a ton of interesting tutorials in here, and there are two of my favorite artists. I believe her name is Tran, she's on the cover, and then Biofam from Instagram is in here, and there's some really cool tutorials in here. This one, oh my gosh, look at that, that's stunning. That is stunning. And I'm down with the whole galactic theme, the galaxy colors, and blues and grays. I really probably, it's going out on a limb, but I think it would be fun. This is definitely a fantastic read. This magazine was 20 bucks, but it's worth every penny. And you can, I mean, there's so much going on here, and it's step-by-step tutorials in all kinds of mediums, gouache, ink, oils, acrylics, you name it, it's in here. And I love it. So that's something you can do right now and take a look at if you don't really have anything. If you look through all your books already and if you're at a loss for what to read, this is good. This is a really good one. I'm gonna just kind of refine some of this right here. This lady, I usually start off with the human, if there's a human animal connection within my drawings. It is my comfort zone. Human beings have always been fairly easy for me to draw. I'm finally going to bust out the Holbein Aqua Oil Duo. That's a handful to say, or a mouthful. It's a water mixable oil, and I've heard great things about it, and I've had it for a long time. So my own life and my own mistakes are inspiring some of this video. But if you're feeling kind of lonely and, this quarantine is kind of getting to you, maybe you're kind of tired of the people you're under the same roof with, or if you're solitary, if you're feeling lonely, you can still connect with other artists online. Make sure that if you're spending hours on Instagram or something like that, make sure that you let somebody know how much you love their artwork, and let them know that, they've inspired you, or maybe you just really like a painting that they have done, and just go ahead and leave that comment. Also, there's plenty of art communities to join too, and there's nothing wrong with like joining in and being like, hey, I'm so and so, and you know, whether you're a novice or a professional, you know, whatever level you're on, you know, connect with other artists. And sometimes I think, you know, we feel like we need to know everything. Artists can sometimes unfortunately be competitive with each other in a negative sense, and this is not the time, right? Be nice to each other and be kind, and really this is our time to shine. Like I said, you know, to say, hey, you know, your art matters. Even if you're not a fan of their art necessarily, but you respect what they do, you let them know, okay? And I guarantee you that good karma is going to come back. So I'm going to start looking at this color scheme. I'm thinking like there's going to be some stars in here, maybe a galaxy. So maybe, actually, I might start with this negative space with a wash. By the way, I'm not looking to complete this by the time that this video is over, but I will record it and do a time lapse of it probably in another video. This is my first time using this. This is the Pebeo drawing gum. To be honest, I have not had a lot of success with Frisket and using it properly. I've always ended up tearing the paper. Yeah, this is already digging into the paper. Great. Okay. You know, we'll let it dry, and maybe I'll just paint over it with titanium white in the end. This might turn into something much bigger, because I really do like this sketch a lot. If this turns out to be, you know, kind of a fail, or if it's just not what I wanted it to be, that's okay, because sketchbooks are exactly what, you know, they're intended for, which is, you know, to make mistakes. I see some of these beautiful sketchbooks on YouTube and I'm like, those all look like masterpieces, you know? But really, I think originally a sketchbook is intended for, you know, experimentation, making mistakes, and we definitely have to make mistakes in order to grow as artists. Let's see here. It's kind of essential to growing and becoming the best version of ourselves. And we have a lone hare that likes to, whatever. There it is again. Oh my God, there, it's right there. It's just watercolor. Oh goodness. So while that's drying, I'm going to kind of bring in the last two that I thought about. And number 4 is kind of, it's not really directly art related, but I feel like a lot of artists are really into houseplants, including myself. I have a lot of golden pothos. I have a philodendron. I have mother-in-law's tongue. I can't remember the actual scientific name behind it. And I have a fire croton plant that is small. So I thought, you know, right now would be a great time that if you feel like it's time to start propagating your houseplants and splitting them up, and you know, spring's right around the corner, there's no better time to do that than right now, especially with extra time on your hands. And getting your hands into earth, whether it be like actual literal going outside and planting anything, or you know, actually putting your hands in the potting soil and everything like that, there's scientific proof that it boosts your emotional health. And I think that's fascinating. And I also think just actually having plants, you know, not just from the scientific point of view of giving back, you know, with oxygen, but just the relationship that we have with plants and how much more an actual space can seem very much more alive because of that living plant there. And that sounds corny, but it's true. And so if you have some houseplants, start splitting them up and making more plants. and you'll have more greenery, and it's good for you, it's good for the environment, it's good for this world. There's nothing that I can say negative about doing something like that. Number 5 is more of a lifestyle choice. It is also something that I feel is essential to my well-being as an artist and as a human being altogether, is, energy work that you could do at home. You don't have to go see a practitioner or anything like that. You can do Qigong, you can do meditation, you can do yoga. In fact, 2 out of those 3 I did this morning. I typically do my best to do meditation every day to keep myself in alignment. There are times whenever I've fallen off and then gotten back on the wagon, and I can't even tell you the amazing experiences that I've had and the downloads that I get for ideas for paintings and drawings while I'm in a deep state of relaxation and in that state of detachment between here and, the ethereal. So I highly recommend it. And if you keep thinking to yourself, I can't do it, of course you can't do it. So, this is no better time to sit down and really kind of stay quiet and learn that skill. And it takes practice like anything else, but you can get there and you can do it, and you'll be blessed, and you'll be so much more positive about this situation. Qigong is actually something I highly recommend. It is so easy for anybody can do it. If you're like, nah, I don't want to, I'm not down with meditation just yet, I'm not ready to go there. Qigong is, it literally involves breath and movement, and it's not even really like anything complicated. It can be, 10 minutes in the morning, and it will change it's like almost, it's kind of like how, when your hair is dirty and you wash it and it feels nice and clean. It's kind of the same concept, except for it's your emotional body. It's all of your anger, your sadness, some of the things that we don't even know that we're holding on to. Those things can be released just with some simple shaking in the morning and simple breath work. And there's tons of videos on them on YouTube. Just type in Qigong for beginners. I can actually recommend several videos in the description box below to get you kind of started if you're interested in doing that. And yoga is, something everybody can really do, even if it's just chair yoga, anywhere from just, hatha yoga to, there's so many different types. Kundalini yoga works with your breath too. So, now that we are in this sort of crazy time, if we're feeling any lower vibrational negative emotions, our tendency to our body is to protect itself. It's a subconscious reaction. So we tend to kind of withdraw in. We kind of even, we'll tense our eyes, we'll tense our, fists and things like that. And that getting trapped in your body starts to manifest itself in forms of illness too. So, it's vital that we take care of ourselves as human beings and as artists too. We just, we have something that not everybody has. Talent is a practice skill, but really it's not cool to believe that, that actual talent is a gift. There's something very healing about art.
Also, I'd like to ask you to join me in a little challenge that is coming up in April. I joined it from Mighty Networks, and I'm not sponsored to sell this to you or anything like that. I was thinking about it in terms of the reason that I was talking about joining an art community and everything. There's a challenge called 30 Days, 30 Faces, and it's, I believe, $30. And it's on, I'll put a link in the description box, but it's on Mighty Networks. There's a website, but there's an app, and there's tons of just message boards and groups that are, just directly artist related. And there are people who ask questions and they want your feedback and everything. And I plan to get more involved with that. And so if you want to join me in April with 30 Days, 30 Faces, we don't know how long this is going to go on. So, you might be spending some extra time at home, and this would be a great way to keep yourself occupied every day and something to look forward to. So really, that's what we need to hold on to right now are things to look forward to and those beacons of hope. And we are beacons of hope, which sounds grandiose, but really in the grand scheme of things, as I like to say, small world, big universe. I hope that this has kind of brought some light to your day and something to make you smile and feel inspired by and hopeful about, because we have each other, and that is what's going to get us through these next few weeks, months, however long this continues. So stay safe above all things. Stay safe. Keep the faith. Share your love. Share your talents with the world right now. That's what the world needs right now. So, thank you for joining me today. And keep creating.
Yeah, hopefully you can still rainbow. I'm actually just wearing these headphones because it looks more natural. Like if I take this off, it just, oh, I look like a Jennifer in this wig. I do. Artist Jennifer Bush, my alter ego. Oh, go full 80s. We're gonna go full 80s today. Oh, look at that! Oh, yes.